Constitution. All right, you hear a lot of people saying, "What the Constitution say?" Constitution of the United States. Well, when you put your Constitution on record, it stands higher than the Constitution of the United States. Your Constitution stands higher than the Constitution of the United States. All right? So, again, when we're talking about a trust, your Constitution is going to be a part of your trust. That's how powerful these tools are. So once again, if you're interested in having a trust with UNA or developing your trust, getting your membership trust package, leave a message in the inbox. Your name, number, email. All right? Leave a message so that we can make sure that we get to you into our session and you want to be a part of that. So, we're understanding this. Your Constitution, that's a part of your trust, it stands higher than the United States. Once again, because as a sovereign, you are establishing your own government. You're self-governed. Federal codes. All right? And this one is a pretty hot topic, federal codes, because we will get some people that will say, UCCs, by the way, Uniform Commercial Codes. Uniform Commercial Codes. Those are federal codes, right? Federal codes are codes which govern corporations within corporations. Now, I need y'all to understand, UCC codes and federal codes, they are codified contract law, all right? These are laws for corporations. Corporations worldwide have to adhere to federal laws. And these federal laws are codified contract law, all right? Now, I need y'all to understand something about the term federal. Pen and paper, take notes. Federal means a covenant with God. A covenant with God. That's what the term federal means. Now, we have been made to fear federal. You rid of the federal government. Well, let's understand what's happening with this term federal, where it comes from, what it means, and who these people are. Now, when we're talking about federal, federal means, once again, a covenant with God. I want y'all to go and look up the etymology of the term. And so your federal agents have made a covenant with God to protect God's property. Well, what is God's property? You. So they've made a covenant to protect you. And the problem is you don't recognize who you are. Now, these federal codes, and people, again, we've been made to fear the federal when it's the federal that's working for you. These federal codes have been established and they're in harmony. They are in harmony with these higher laws. They are helping to protect your God-given right. Federal codes, once again, help to protect your God-given rights. And the problem is we don't even read them. So I'm going to give you an example of federal codes that we don't know. When you're talking about these policy enforcers and even federal agents, now this deals with federal agents as well as anything beneath federal agents, because you understand I have not gotten to state yet. State and all that, that's going to be under here. But a federal agent, one of the law is the only reason they can arrest you, there's only 3 reasons why they can arrest you. 3. 1, they saw you commit a crime or have full reason to believe that you have committed a crime. They suspect that you are about to commit a crime or have full reason to suspect it, or there's an arrest warrant. Those are the 3 reasons. You committed a crime, they saw you commit a crime, or they suspected you're about to commit a crime, or there's an arrest warrant. If they don't have those things, they're not even supposed to arrest you. Well, you pissed me off, so I'm going to arrest you. You didn't show me your ID, so I'm going to arrest you. You didn't do they're going to say you broke a crime because you didn't show an ID. There's no law. By the way, I need to go into this. There is no law that says you got to show them an ID. There isn't. There is not a law. And then let's say they show you, there's no law. They can't even present a law. Even if there was a code, because that's the only thing they can show you. which it doesn't exist. But let's pretend like there was a code whereby it said you got to show an ID. I'm going to take you back up here to God's law. God's law says you can't force me into a contract. That's what God's law says. Well, Diva, they going to say that. You better stand on what your God said. This ain't what Diva said. What your God say? This is the problem. We have totally forgotten about God. We thinking, oh, man's law, and he said we better do this and we better. Even the seatbelt law is not a law. It's just a code. I haven't even gotten to that. They so beneath. Federal codes cannot even force you to put on the seatbelt. Federal codes can't even force you to put on a seatbelt. You have the right to not wear your seatbelt if you want to not wear your seatbelt. But when a cop comes up, you're a seatbelt law. It's not a law. Listen, let me finish up with federal codes. Federal codes, they protect your God-given rights. They're in harmony. So everything from federal codes on up, this is what we're dealing with. All right, these federal codes and UCCs, because you'll get people saying, oh, that's for the man. Read the codes. They are in harmony with God's law, and they are there to protect you. All right. And so we will use a UCC code, especially when we find it advantageous to us. We have the right to do that.